Good kick, Ben, Maud. Well followed, thank him, lad.
Rugby, like all sports, can have its dangers. Ben has been taking advice about the help that computers can give him in coping with his disability caused by a rugby accident.
So let's have a look at this a bit more closely. First of all, it's big, and if you wanted to get to it, you've got to organise yourself to get to it. If you wanted to get it to you, like down to here.
Ben is planning to use a computer for writing his college essays.
Imagine that was resting on your lap. Show me the best way that you could operate that.
Well, I could reach across with my right hand, but it's going to be a lot of energy used,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so do I. Like I thought, we'll throw it away. Let's get a bit more radical, much smaller, and it's been designed knowing that the user isn't going to use 10 fingers, they're only going to use 1 or 2. Let me put this on your lap as well. Put it, say, here.
Right, that's fine.
Right.
Thanks.
You'll notice that the keys aren't in 3 rows. The manufacturers put the commonly used characters in the centre. What we're trying to do is find a method for you using the computer that uses as little of your energy, mental and physical, as possible, so you get the writing done.
Right.
A computer need not be controlled through a typewriter keyboard. This word processor can be operated with a switch. One push chooses the top or bottom of the array of characters. A second push selects a line, and a third push, the letter. Once a word has been started, the program tries to predict what you wanted to write, based on the words you use most frequently. Just one press will complete the word you wanted to type.
Business matters. Period. New line.
Ben has decided to write his essays directly into the computer, using a voice input that will learn his particular ways of pronouncing words.
Choose 2. Customers and employees.
All these different ways of operating computers may help in a range of situations where people would otherwise have difficulty.
These 2 are designs I did, which are very quick on the idea of colour, shape, form and line. So if we turn over the page...
Colin is an art student.
These 2 are in ink. The main part is a column here. Yeah, rather Roman sort of design. In the background, at the top of the design, we have like a small city.
He works with a range of materials, in pencil, in ink, and with paints. Colin is planning to add computer-based designs to his collection of work. He moves the cursor around the screen using infrared transmitters in the headset, making his selection through a switch. Infrared devices mean that the computer can be controlled without the need for cables joining the artist to the computer. Patrick turns on his computer system with his knee. He is expert in selecting the characters he requires from the array in front of him. The symbol he requires for his business study notes can be found in one of the boxes on one particular line of the array. Patrick makes these choices by operating switches with his head.
But in general, inventors only invent things when the community wants them. They do not come like manna from heaven, rather they arise in response to the environment around them. What brought about the great changes in 18th century industry was a series of social factors, developments of various kinds in British society. Okay? So you've got to relate this to this question. Why did industrial change take place in the 18th century? Yeah?
Richard is a student of A-level history.
Power? Yeah? Pardon? D. D. Oh. I.
At college, Richard has help in reading his history books and in preparing for his A-level examination.
Driven.
He also makes use of computers to write his notes and essays. But it would be wrong to think that computers can solve all the problems that people face in communicating.
And each of you has been invited here because you've got an important contribution to make, because you've got different points of view about using communicators. Simon, can you tell me what it is particularly about another means of communication that's attractive to you?
To give me.
Simon has no speech. He communicates through the symbols in his book.
V O I C voice. To give me a voice.
So what you're saying, Simon, is that this actually gives you a voice in the room. Claire, I know that you've been using a light talker for some time.
My light talker is great because it's my voice.
Using a light pen attached to her glasses, Claire selects the sound she needs. But she's not entirely happy with the voice that her computer presents to the world on her behalf.
It would be great if it had a woman's voice.
And Richard also has his doubts about using a computer voice.
I feel like a machine.
Computer systems will only be really useful when they allow us all to be ourselves, to communicate in the ways that we want, to help us be what we want to be.
It's really embarrassing for me and for the person who is thinking to it's a while to be a writer, but what I say, and it's very embarrassing.
What do we know about the universe, and how do we know it? Where did the universe come from, and where is it going? Did the universe have a beginning? And if so, what happened before then?
Scientists at Cambridge University have tried to answer these most basic questions for hundreds of years. Sir Isaac Newton was one of the most influential of those scientists. Today, his post is occupied by a man who may be the most brilliant scientist since Einstein. Professor Stephen Hawking has revolutionized mankind's understanding of time and the universe. Stephen Hawking uses a selection of powerful computers to work on his theories and to communicate his findings. David Mason designs Professor Hawking's computer systems.
We build computer systems for people with severe physical disabilities. So we produce a unit that contains an IBM compatible computer in an unusual physical form. The most unusual feature of these computer systems is that they're not controlled by a keyboard in any conventional way. Output from the PC can be directed in a whole lot of different ways. I mean, we think of computers and we think of printers, but we can also send written text from the screen of the computer to a voice synthesizer.
Welcome to Multivoice version 1.1.
We can send controls to infrared links to turn lights on and off, to open and close the door of the house, to draw the curtains, control the television.
Stephen Hawking became an outstanding student at university, but he found that he was becoming increasingly clumsy. A rare illness was causing growing disability. Nowadays, his Layman's Guide to the Universe has become a bestseller worldwide.
Isn't there something we can do to make the future more interesting? One way that would certainly do that would be to steer ourselves into a black hole. If travel through black holes were possible, there would seem nothing to prevent you arriving back before you set off. But the best evidence that we have that time travel is not possible, and never will be, is that we have not been invaded by hordes of tourists from the future.
College Kitchen.
This is Professor Hawking.
Good morning, sir.
I would like to come to dinner tonight.
Would your beef be okay roasted?
Thank you.
Will you have any guests with you tonight, sir?
No.
Very good, sir.
Computer systems allow Professor Hawking to communicate to others his day-to-day needs.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
And the most complex theories about our place in the universe.